Hi guys, welcome back to the Daily Dreamer. Thanks so much for coming and hanging out with me today and sharing a dream or two. I'm going to share this one dream that I had because it took me a moment to sit on it, but I think it's worth sharing. Okay, so I wake up and I come to, and I am sitting at a table, and there's a lady, and she pushes a teacup my way. The teacup is empty. I look inside. There's tea leaves at the bottom. It appears as though either she's reading my future or she wants me to go ahead and look into my own future. Not sure. The next thing I know, I am in a classroom and I'm sitting at a desk, and there are acquaintances that I know of from lifetimes ago, in this life. People that I don't even talk with anymore, just old friends. But they're all being called to the front of the class. They're all lining up. Now they're all smiling, they're all laughing, they're having a good time. I was kind of a little, I remember the feeling coming over me as though I was a little jealous over the fact that I wasn't chosen to go to the front of the room, although I was assured that we were being chosen for something else. So at that point, I was kind of like, okay. But anyways, the people in the front of the room, my acquaintances, they were all lining up, smiling, having a good time. They were all, the important thing is that they were all wearing the same outfit, all patterned black and white checks. They were told that they were going to participate in a parade. I think that's what made them happy. And I think that's what made me a little upset because I wanted to participate as well. Anyways, they start filing out of the room. The next thing I know, I am being led into what appeared to be like this circle of people. And these people all had white gowns on. Now, I got to tell you, when I looked back in the classroom, when they were leaving, I looked back in the classroom and there's like seven people left, and they were all wearing white, including myself. I didn't know any of these people, but then it cuts to us coming into like a circle, like a musical circle, if you will. But it's people who are kind of chanting, doing music, playing instruments, and I was waiting to see what mine was, and they handed me this huge drum. This drum was made of light wood. It was real pretty, but it was humongous, and I had to laugh because it was so out of proportion with everybody else's. And I thought, well, leave it to me to make the loudest noise, right? So I don't know how I'm going to get this drum to the parade, but okay. So I know that I'm going to play the drums. Next thing, I'm in bleachers. And I remember looking down and I see that they are lining up, ready to start the parade. I'm super excited because I get to sit and watch. I look down, my drum's there, so now I know that I'm getting ready to play for the parade. As I start to play for the parade, as they start to march down, the lady appears again. And she once again hands me a teacup. And I'm a little bothered, and I convey the thought to her, not now, I don't have time. Can't you see I'm doing work for a parade? And she smiles, conveys the thought back to me. She says, don't worry, the parade will come back around. It's more important you see this. And at that point, I was whisked back to consciousness. What a dream to have, right? So what's that dream mean? Let's go find out what I think it means. So what do you think the dream meant? Well, I'll tell you what I think it means to me. I think it's referring to me being able to see into the future of my cycle. Oh, no. That's what I took it as once I sat on it. Nature and every one of its components fluctuates in cycles. Nature's greatest creation, which happens to be us, is absolutely no exception, okay? When we breathe, our lungs, they expand and they contract in rhythm. Our hearts and our pulse, they go ahead and they join into the anatomical parade that is. But their cadence is different from that of our lungs. Our blood pressure, our blood flow, they're also marching to their own drum beat, if you will. And so are the adrenal glands, our digestive production, our body temperatures, even our brain has its own rhythm. Amazingly, even bacteria does. Okay? But guess what? We as individuals, we all have our cycles as well. Emotionally, all of us have our emotional ups and downs. We have these days where, we feel like superpowers, that we've got all this enthusiasm, all this excitement, all this energy. These are the occasions where nothing in the entire world is going to stop us. We can move mountains. We can make stuff happen. All right. But then there's those days that we are down in the dumps, that we are depressed, that we are sad. Our appetite it's just not there. We blow up at the most insignificant things. We blow things out of proportion. We yell at everything. It's just bad, depressing, sad days. Sadly, it's on those days that our attitude maybe projects or amplifies trouble during those moments, right? Okay, but what if it's something more? What if those days, those moments are trying to show you something different? What if it was trying to show you like the future? Follow me here. I think that we can forecast our own emotional cycle. And how do we do that? Well, obviously it would be great if we knew, the cycle of the highs and the low periods in our life. Okay. And you know what? You technically can know those. You can technically peer into the future and find out what your own cycle is. But how do you do it? Well, you begin by preparing something very simple, something like a chart that's sufficient enough to chart your own emotional cycle so that you can see what your patterns are. Okay, so I have this great chart, all right, where I typed it up, but you can write it down in a notebook. But anyways, you write your month and you write the days 1 through 30 or 31. And then over here, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and you want to put emotions, like 6 of them. You want to put like elated. Then you want to put like happy. And then you want to put, feeling positive, and then neutral. And then down below that, you want 3 negative emotions. You want stuff like, bad feelings. Maybe you were disgusted. Maybe you were sad. And then for the very last one, maybe worried, depressed, angry. But the important thing here is to assign points. So on the very top, if you were elated and you had an elated day, give yourself a +3. Okay, it takes like 2 seconds at the end of the night to sit there and recall what kind of a day you had. If it was a good one, mark it. If it was a great one, mark it. Okay, give yourself those points, as it is with the bad days. If you had bad ones, what you want to do is you want to take the points away. You don't want to reward yourself points. If you're having a bad day, you want to take them away. Okay, so if you do that over a consecutive amount of days, then soon you start seeing a pattern emerge. All right, that's the great thing about cycles. They always come back around. All right, you'll see this pattern emerge, and if you connect the dots, then technically you could peer into your own future, right? You can see when your high moments are. You can see where your low moments are going to be, and that's important. Because if you could see when your low moments are coming, then you can take proactive steps in either thwarting that off or trying to mitigate, those feelings that come over you or those moments for yourself. Okay, it helps enables you to have a little bit more freedom in understanding where you're coming from on your own cycle. Okay, but women, we have to be a little bit more aware, because not only do we have this emotional cycle that we have to pay attention to, but we also have to make sure that we're aware that we don't get it mixed up with the menstrual cycle that we love to have. Okay, because that causes variances in the emotional 30-day cycle for us. So that's, if you take just a brief 30 seconds every night and chart that, then you can start seeing your own patterns, okay? This is called our own emotional rhythm. And in most cases, we will find that these cycles are predictable once you start seeing the pattern. But over the next few months, you'll know, all right? And you'll know with amazingly accurate knowledge when your next high moment will be, or more importantly, how you should prepare for those low moments. Okay, so that's really important. With this knowledge and this ability, you're partially able to see, if you will, into the future. And that's going to allow you to be able to adjust your behavior to suit your mood for what's coming up or what you're going through. When you are going through your high periods of elations, you need to be careful. You need to be careful, because those are the times where we make these decisions that, rash decisions, rash promises. We do impossible commitments. We do misguided purchases, because we're on that high. We're on that, nothing can stop me now. But you'll also be able to understand and be able to live through the low periods, because you'll know that within a few days, those two will pass. And that's really important. All right, because during those times of depression, where it always seems like it's never ending, you'll be able to know that pattern says otherwise. Okay, so if you can see this and you're able to fill out your own chart and you see the results come back, you'll have a greater knowledge of your cycle. And that's going to help you to be able to change what can be changed, but more importantly, prepare for what you cannot change. So if you take a moment now and you sit and you watch the cycles and you watch yourself, then you can see others that are now marching in the parade. They're marching before your very eyes to the same tune of that silent drum. But be careful, because while you're sitting there watching, because now you have knowledge, you must not feel better than them. You must not feel superior, because you too march to the same very drum. Okay? Because we all have our emotional days. You too are in that parade. Okay? There is a wonderful quote that states that the more extensive a man's knowledge is of what has been done, the greater will be his power in knowing what he can do. Guys, till next time, thanks so much for joining me for Daily Dreamer. Many blessings to you. Are you ready to see your future yet?